All right, let's get into our next discussion. On May the 25th, 6 boys were kidnapped from Lagos Model College in Igbola in Ekpe, and 27 days after, they're still in captivity. But the Nigerian police have vowed to bring all those involved in the abduction to book, promising that the boys will regain freedom soon.
But how soon? Is this soon? That's the million-dollar question right now. We've been following that story, and we are staying with the developments there. Joining us right now in the studio is a security consultant, Dennis Amakri. Many thanks for joining us today. 27 days after these boys are kidnapped. No concrete word. All we've heard is promises, and lots of promises.
Yeah, you know, kidnap cases are very, very, should I say, unpredictable. You can imagine the Chibok girls, how many years now? We're still on it. Many people tend to forget that that's also a kidnap case.
Oh, yes.
It's not just a terrorist adventure. You know, it's a kidnap case. And during kidnap cases like this, you have all kinds of things playing out. And one of the major issues there is proper handling of that particular case. Who are the people negotiating? Who are the security people, how interested and how committed they are in looking for those missing boys. So those are the variables that are working out on this.
All right, I like when you use the word proper handling.
Yes.
Yes.
When we have our security agencies, all who have been, from all the kidnap cases we've had all the while, would you say that our security agencies handle these issues properly? Sometimes it takes months before some people regain their freedom.
Yeah, like I said, proper handling in the sense that sometimes, you know, the negotiations don't go well. Sometimes the people involved are directly negotiating with the kidnappers, and we warn against that. Don't do that. Sometimes the security agencies are overwhelmed with all kinds of cases, and they don't give particular attention to that particular case. So it drags in and out and on, you know. Who is going to pay the ransom? We are not going to pay ransom, and all kinds of
But that's
situations.
what seems to be playing out in this case now.
Yes.
We understand that even some of those kidnappers are having private conversation with some parents of the children. How do you think that will work?
That is wrong, you know, because there is no need for the parents to come into it at all. You know, one of the major reasons is that they are emotionally involved.
And they become desperate.
Yes, I've been involved in so many kidnap cases where some parents will come out and actually cry and say that, come and take my house and release my kid for me. You know, children are very, very delicate and very, very close to the heart of people. And that's why kidnappers are very, very interested in going that way. So they should allow, and I would say that the Nigerian security agencies they have units handling this, should be more interested, not only when somebody from a high-crossed part of society is involved, or when, you know, some of the drugs. Kidnapping is kidnapping, and it could happen to anybody.
All right, let us have an idea of, although kidnapping is not an ideal situation, but when a kidnap case takes place, what is really supposed to be the engagement, the proper ideal engagement?
What's
between
the rule of engagement?
Exactly. between the authorities, either the government or the police, and then the victim of the family or the family of the person who is being kidnapped. How should they engage each other? What's supposed to be the ideal situation?
Okay, I think one important thing, many people, that's a very good question. Many people are not aware of how this thing happens. Somebody is kidnapped, the next thing you're waiting for a phone call. When the phone call will come, and when the phone call comes, the first thing you do after somebody has been kidnapped, you're sure has been kidnapped, is to report to the security agencies. The kidnappers will tell you, don't go to the police, don't go to the security agencies, but that's the first place you report. Report to the security agencies, and when the phone call comes, direct it properly. And that's where private security consultants.
But in some cases, you're not sure outrightly if it was a kidnap case or the person is just missing.
Yes, that's why you wait until...
For how long?
Until they call you.
Until they call you. When
So
they
it's
call
after
you,
you receive the call that you go to the
then
police?
you will know that, yes, somebody is missing. Because some people could just travel. You know, some children follow their friends and go to their houses, and you don't know, follow their boyfriends and disappear. So you wait until you get a call.
All right.
And when you get a call, the first call you make is to the security agencies. And then you try to involve the private security people, because they have specialists who will negotiate. Now, negotiation does not mean that, you know, some governments will tell you, we don't negotiate with kidnappers.
Like in Lagos State?
Yeah, it's not that you don't, you negotiate with kidnappers, but you don't pay ransom.
Okay.
Many companies,
so
these
the
are
difference?
two things.
Okay.
Even the international, multinational companies will tell you, they will negotiate, we'll talk.
All right.
Talking is the negotiation.
Okay.
Okay, but paying ransom is against their policy. Paying ransom in the sense that when you pay, and that is why we have this problem with us today in Nigeria. You know, I remember some of the cases I got involved in the Niger Delta. You know, before, the militants were kidnapping people just to use them as a front to draw attention to their plight. Yeah. But suddenly, a company was so hesitant, they went and paid. And that was the beginning of ransom. So the militants saw that and said, oh, there must be money in this business. Okay. You know, and then we started it. So they don't pay. If you don't pay, nothing, you know,
so what gives if you don't, when you negotiate and you don't want to pay, what gives? Something must give.
You see, one thing is this: kidnappers kidnap for so many reasons. One, sometimes they kidnap for political reasons. They could keep the person until after the election, then the person comes out. Number two, sometimes in these areas you see people kidnap for ritual killings. And sometimes the one that is very permanent now is they kidnap for ransom, you know, and the kidnap for ransom is the one where they want money. Now, the big amount or huge amounts that they'll tell you are not necessarily the kind of money that you are going to get. Nobody keeps that kind of money in his house, you know. And of course, even if ransoms are going to be paid, if you work properly, if it's handled properly, you know, that ransom can not be received by the kidnappers.
Okay. Dennis, I'm very interested in this area of Facebook, but we have to move on. Let me bring in Foladele to give us a perspective on social media, and then we can come back for you to take us on this line of understanding.
Good morning,
Fola, good morning.
Good morning,
nice to see you.
Good morning, Dennis.
Morning.
Good morning. Almost 4 weeks later, and we're still
counting.
here. Yes,
we don't hope to count again.
We really don't hope to count again. But let's find out how Nigerians are reacting online. Adebayo Kayode says, #recap, Evan's story has overshadowed the pupils kidnap at Ekpe. What is the latest at Igbonla kidnap? Lagos Noah says, by the way, this is the second kidnap at Model College Igbonla Ekpe. I can imagine what the parents are going through. Dr. Ann Muiwa says, this Evans of a kidnapper can assist in recovery of students from Ekpe and others in Nigeria. And he has a Yoruba quote that basically says, set a thief to catch a thief, basically. And we'll come back to talk about it.
Read it out now. You didn't
okay,
read
okay, so let's go back to it. Look at that. Well, they're not Yoruba, so I didn't want to.
You just lost me there.
Exactly, that's why.
All right, just go ahead. Don't worry, there's no time, so just go ahead.
Okay, Simeon Ohaifo says, have you heard of the kidnap of the students of Lagos Model College? These ones don't deserve your attention. God deal. And he tweeted this at Obi Ezekwesili, who of course is a very active member of the Big Brothers, Bring Back Our Girls campaign, rather. Yemi Adesoya says, the Lagos kidnap case is still open. The kidnapped students have still not been rescued. Okay, Dennis, let me quickly come to you on this. So someone is suggesting, look, contact Evans and let's work together with him to bring back. Set a thief to catch a thief. Work together with him to bring back the pupils. But then I've also heard people say the fact that Evans has been caught means that these kidnappers might actually become smarter and, you know, find more ways about their skill, and it might not be as easy anymore. So what do you think about that?
First of all, you cannot set Evans to go and catch him. Okay,
contrary to that quote.
That's number one. Number two, I really am not very... It's good that they've arrested him, but I'm not happy with the same handling we're talking about. You know, I think we get so excited. We jump into the media, we parade them before the media, and then
the officer posing with him took
everybody,
a picture.
People are dancing and
superstar.
Yes, but you see, what we really want is prosecution. We want these people to be prosecuted. No kidnapper has been prosecuted, or if they have been, I think today they arraigned some in Abuja.
In Abuja.
But you know, it is not something that, it's not a crime that if they punish you, the punishment is going to be a deterrent to others. You know, so trying to brush over it is not the best thing. We should be resilient in investigating, making sure that we get all the facts right before we take them to court.
Now, one of the tweets there actually played out what you said earlier about the prominence that we were attached to. Yeah. That if it's not some of the top shots, it doesn't get much attention as it will get. And somebody drew Obiezekwesili out there. Yes. Okay, why don't we hear your voice now?
Exactly.
Mama, bring back our girls, really. Exactly. We need our boys back.
Our pupils, yes.
Exactly. That's the thing. We need to give it prominence, because kidnapping is kidnapping. Whether it is the son of a minister or the son of a roasted plantain seller, you know, kidnapping is kidnapping. Because the effect, you can imagine the kind of effect that these children at the model college, their colleagues will be having. They might not be settled to even read their books anymore, you know, because everybody is anxious.
Psychologically and emotionally.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Fola, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to our understanding earlier on. You were telling us, because when I was asking about the ideals of what should be done, how should the people go about it, you were talking about if anyone's relative is kidnapped, he should, after contacting the security agencies, he should hire a private security person.
Yes.
Now, where will be the place of the security person and the police?
The private,
yeah. How would they work together? Wouldn't that be counterproductive?
They really work together.
Okay.
They work together in the sense that the kidnap negotiators, who are basically security consultants. We have a lot of companies, consulting firms doing that. I do that myself. And, you know, they work hand in hand with the security agents because they know the security agents. And of course, they also give information to the security agents. The security agents are there to either do some tracking, and of course, kidnappers are becoming wiser by the day now, where they use many SIM cards.
Oh yes, Evans revealed that.
And then they use other kinds of telephones that they use, but it is also pertinent that we don't discuss this on air, but as wiser as they are becoming, the security agents are also one step ahead of it. All right. You know, so you work with the security agents, and then of course they can get to them. Okay,
so what would you advise the parents to do right now? They are at some kind of limbo, as so to speak.
I think the parents should talk to security consultants to look into this case. Talk with the people. That is one. Then number two, the government itself should do something. They're asking for 1 billion naira. How about putting...
It's been reduced now anyway.
How about putting on 10 million naira? What do you call
Bounty.
it now? Bounty on this. We know that some of these people, even some of the kidnappers who are going to be shortchanged, will think about that amount. And they could say, okay, after all, if they share, I might not even get up to this. If I leak this information, I might get something for myself. And let's set the traps and see what falls in. You know, so I think government have a lot of different things they could do.
But in a situation where the parents, or in this case of the Igbola students, if they don't have what it takes, especially the funds to hire private security agents?
Well,
because I know that's going to cost some money.
Yeah, well, it will, there are arrangements that could be done.
Okay.
It's not necessarily the parents that are going to get the money, but all the same, you know, if it continues, remember, one thing about kidnappers also is that these children are becoming a problem for them. You know, they are becoming, that's one part that they don't know.
The longer they stay?
Yeah, the longer they stay. And of course, the one thing people don't understand is that they are not going to kill the children. Okay. It's very rare because those are their meal tickets. Okay. And if you kill the children, they are not going to, you know.
So the parents can rest easy knowing that the
knowing
children
that
will
they are
be
all right.
killed.
Yeah,
okay.
And then of course, let them have a proof of life, always. You know, and that is to make sure that they talk with the children to make sure that they are alive.
We are wrapping up this section right now, but let's talk about the students still left at Igbonla as we speak. The school reopened.
Yes.
Some children are back to school. How do we take safety in our schools? Just the last question and we'll wrap up.
I think schools should seriously look at improving the security in their schools. And, you know, there should be crime prevention through environmental design.
Okay.
That is making sure that the school is safe for students to be learning.
All right, we have to hold it there now. Thank you very much, Dennis Amakri, security consultant, for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.